new members. Please rise and join our guests.
Here, should we turn it on for the national anthem?
All right, 3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into tonight's game of the Gaithersburg Giants at the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. We're here at Blair High School on the call. I'm Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. Jake, how are you feeling about tonight's game?
Feeling good. Looking for a nice comeback win the Giants have been looking for a couple of games now. Fell just short last night to the South County Braves in a 10-9 loss there. So looking for a bounce-back win against a strong opponent here, the current leader of the North Division, the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. And yeah, like I said, this will just be a huge win for the team. Still early in the season.
Yep. We are under the bleachers here at Blair High School, so if you hear a little bit of noise above Jake and I, just disregard fans walking over our heads, but just got recovered by the sun. It's still out here for the first pitch. That is Josh Demarick leading off on the mound for Silver Spring. For the Giants, it's going to be the leadoff man, Jaden Brown, the center fielder, starting it off for the Giants.
Yeah, Damaraki right now just finished up his freshman year at Frostburg State. He had 2.1 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit and 2 runs. He had 4 walks and 3 strikeouts, and he is looking to get the game started here for the Thunderbolts. The last time these teams met, the Giants lost 6-4.
Leading off for the Giants.
And Brown steps up to the plate.
Ranger College.
The Ranger product himself. getting set to face off against Damaraki. As we begin here, Damaraki winds up, delivers the first pitch over the plate called strike. Second pitch coming, Damaraki delivers. Brown takes that one inside. Good eye, called ball. 1-1 count here to lead off. At the plate. And low and outside, Brown takes two. 2-1 count now for the leadoff man, Jaden Brown of the Gaithersburg Giants.
Excuse the scoreboard. We lost connection with it.
And Brown takes that, but it is right to the glove of Damaraki for an out.
Next up to bat, the third baseman, number 18.
Damaraki showing off his defensive skills alongside his pitching at facing the first batter. Now for Gaithersburg, it's number 18, Danny Orr, stepping up to bat. Playing third base on the infield tonight. Swings at the first pitch, and that's into the gap. That's a base hit for Danny Orr. With his speed, he's going to. There was an error in the outfield. Matthew Walter could not handle the ball, and Danny Orr gets to second base.
Left fielder, number 11, Aaron.
And his man, Aaron Babayev, is stepping up to the plate. The Giants have their first runner in scoring position. Babayev, the San Mateo product, has been productive early here in the season for Gaithersburg, and his man Danny Orr has set him up in a position for scoring. First pitch low and outside. It was fumbled by Banier, the catcher. Orr remains at second base, though. Banier quickly finding the ball behind him here at Blair High School. Damaraki pitch low, called strike though. Babayev watched that one into the catcher's glove. 1-1 count here, 1 out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, strong start for the Giants with the runner already in scoring position.
Damaraki looks back at Orr, now decides to pitch, puts that one over, check swing by Babayev. Good call now. That is a 2-1 count for Babayev at the plate. Babayev sets back up in the batter's box. 2-1 count. Damaraki watches Orr, sets up at his pitch, looks to pick him off. Orr is back to second in time, though. Damaraki making sure Danny Orr is staying clean and close to the base. He's checked him on every single one of his pitches. All good.
You ready?
Yeah. Welcome back into today's game between the Gaithersburg Giants and the Silver Spring T-Bolts. Sorry for the audio issues here that we've had on the road a little bit dealing with the scoreboard, but now we should be all settled in here in Silver Spring at Blair High School. On the mound for Gaithersburg is Gray Willis to start the game. He sends first pitch high. He's facing Matt Walters, the right fielder for the T-Bolts. Walters finds himself in a 1-0 count. That one tipped foul, but into the glove. Sorry, that wasn't tipped foul. That was just into the glove. I heard a bit of a sound there. Jake and I have a great view of the plate today, as we are directly behind the umpire, just under the bleachers here at Blair High School. Excuse any noises above us as we continue to find the best possible way to deliver this Gaithersburg Giants game to you at home.
Yeah, much easier when you're playing back at Kelly Park. Definitely have to improvise when we go away.
That one is a swing and a miss from Walter. Pitch was slightly outside. Finds himself now in a 2-2 count. The leadoff man for the T-Bolts. Gray Willis winds up, sends that one inside. Now full count for the leadoff of the Silver Spring Thunderbolts. Willis on the mound for Gaithersburg. Takes his windup quick, sends that one inside. Strike called. Matthew Walter was walking towards first base. He felt that was a ball. That one was inside, but clearly not enough to be out of the strike zone of today's umpire. So that is 1 out and a first leadoff strikeout for Gray Willis and the Gaithersburg Giants.
Yeah, nice piece of pitching there for the Giants. Full count comes up on top on that battle.
Willis sends that one top right. That one a ball, maybe a makeup call. We're not sure. That one was certainly close to the plate. Willis is facing Caleb Struvenot, who puts one left side foul. Struvenot, the left fielder, senior out of Millersville. Strudevant faces, that's one's inside near him. Willis liking that left side of the plate so far here in today's game. It's a 2-1 count now, 1 out. Willis delivers this pitch. That was top right, far outside, 88 miles an hour.
Definitely a speed difference between the two starting pitchers today. We're seeing consistent 87-88 out of Willis. Zamaraki hanging more around the low 80 side.
Willis sends that one high for the fourth ball, putting Struvenot on first base. Now Vance Benier, the catcher, steps up to the plate. The no batting gloves guy, he certainly had a lot of action there in the top of the first inning. Dealt with 2 passed balls as Gaithersburg was able to score a run. Willis now sends that one into play, but directly to the shortstop, Brady Powell. And he sends it back to first base in time. They get out Struvenot, and that is 1-2-3 batter's face. Although they did have on one on base, Willis gets out of there.
No runs, no errors, 1 left on base.
1 batter left on base for Silver Spring. Stay with us as we take a break. Plenty more action to come here on Gate.
You ready?
And we're back here at Blair High School. Silver Spring-Takom T-Bolts welcoming the Gaithersburg Giants. First up to bat is Brady Powell, the second baseman, who just made a fantastic defensive play, ready to show some offense for his team.
Yeah, the middle infield has definitely been strong for the Gaithersburg Giants. I would probably say the strongest part of their defense this season.
Damaraki, first pitch, called strike. Winds up to deliver the second, puts that one over the plate. And Brady Powell finds himself down 0-2 early in this count to lead off the second inning. Damaraki sends third pitch in. That one's far outside to the right of the plate. First ball of the count.
Excuse me, I've removed the scoreboard, working with some technical difficulties here.
Certainly working our best here on the road. That one called foul. Over into the dugout. Almost a diving play made by, I don't know who it was in Gaithersburg dugout, but he tried to catch that one himself. 1-2 count still. Damaraki on the mound. Winds up, sends this one put into play by Powell. Puts it directly over second base, right between the gap between the shortstop and the second baseman, and gets himself to first base. Now, the catcher, the man behind the plate, number 45, Ethan McNally, steps to the plate, the junior out of Clarion. We mentioned earlier, not sure if our audio was working at that point, but Collin Hughes and Zach White also both play catcher. All three guys on the roster that are catchers in today's game. Exciting thing to see, not something you see every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to take Zach White out of the lineup for sure. I'm still shocked they move him away from the catcher's position, but yeah, as you said, Collin Hughes has been showing up all season.
And Brady Powell left early for second base there. The base hit, though, by McNally. He is out at first, as we mentioned. Powell advances to second base. Now the shortstop, Freddie Diaz, is up to bat for Gaithersburg. He's got Powell on second, one out to work with. Damaraki checks second base, delivers this one over the plate. Diaz takes first strike.
Diaz is still looking for his first hit this season as a Giant, has a batting average of 0. He's been able to get on base through walks and some hit by pitches. No base knocks for the kid yet.
We'll see if this at-bat is the change. Damaraki delivers. Diaz watches that one into the dirt. 1-1 count now. Well, if he's getting on base, that's good enough for the movie Moneyball. They love the on-base percentage rather than the batting one. Like to take the pitches and as many balls as you can.
Yeah, Diaz has gotten into too many full counts to count this season.
Damaraki sends that one miss swing by Diaz. 1-2 now for the Davidson man.
I haven't seen too much off-speed here from Damaraki. Really, everything has been from that 80 mile to 83 mile per hour range.
And when he's got a guy on second, he checks him out for most of his at pitch. Diaz, good foul tip over into the football field here at Blair High School.
Diaz keeping himself alive. A stat I want to throw out for the Thunderbolts starting pitchers. Their first 16 runs, the 16 innings thrown by T-Bolts starting pitchers, they've allowed 0 runs.
Well, as we saw in the first inning, it was the Giants that got on base. Another foul tip from Diaz. Danny Orr, with some impressive base running and help from Aaron Babayev and Collin Hughes, got himself home for the first score of the game in the top of the first inning. Pitch delivered outside. That one is wide. We're going to see Brady Powell advance to third. That's 3 passed pitches between Damaraki and Benier behind the plate. Certainly something they want to clean up going into the rest of this game, get their chemistry on track. Such an important thing between catchers and pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a clear off-speed pitch meant to hit low there. However, Bonnier not able to keep it in front of him.
That one, Diaz gets behind it. It's up into center field. The play is made by Kudios. There's a arid throw, though, and Powell gets home for the second run of the game for these Gaithersburg Giants. 2 outs on the board. Now, Freddie Diaz still no hit, but he's got an RBI in the book.
Yeah, the Giants will be greeting him in the dugout lovingly as he brings in the second run of the game for the Giants.
Now, we're back at the top of the order. Jaden Brown, the center fielder, man out of Ranger College.
Brown also had himself a night last night with a 2-run home run.
Brown sends that one to the right fielder, Matthew Walter. Sorry, I looked like Matthew Walter was jogging in there for it, but Cutney ended up backing up for it, and that is the end of the inning. A repeat of the first 1 run for the Gaithersburg Giants as they're up 2-0 on the Silver Spring and Tacoma Thunderbolts. Keep listening and watching.
Ready?
Yeah. And we're back here at Blair High School, where the Gaithersburg Giants have traveled down to 70 to face the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Jake, how was the traffic for you getting here? Certainly always interesting to see how long it takes us to get to these away games.
If anyone knows the Silver Spring area, especially the roads right outside of Blair, you know it is tough to get into. However, didn't have too much trouble today.
Gray Williams, first pitch, Gray Willis correction, first pitch ball as he's facing Ryan Kudros, the Marymount man, and center fielder. Sorry, correction, that's Aiden Driscoll. I saw the 5 here from behind the plate. I read the 15 on the roster.
And Driscoll, the University of Maryland Terrapin.
Staying in the DMV for his full summer here to play in the Cal Ripken Summer Collegiate League. Driscoll DHing tonight for the T-Bolts. That pitch is outside from Willis. Now into a 3-1 count. No outs as Driscoll is the leadoff for this inning. After Willis went 1-2-3, sort of. He did have a guy on base, but there was a double play made in the first inning. Driscoll swing and a miss. Full count now here as Willis faces Driscoll. Driscoll steps away from the plate, collects himself, checks with the umpire. Pitches off, and that's outside. And Driscoll finds himself on first base now.
That was Driscoll's 7th walk of the season. Leads his team now by at least 3. Just a player who knows how to get on base there. Good eye.
Good eye playing his strike zone correctly. That would be a big height difference as Nolan Cutney steps up to the plate. Cutney is 6'3" versus the 5'8" Driscoll. Pops that one high and over into the gap between the end zone of the football field and the bullpen of the baseball field.
Cutney batting .333 on the season. He's got 4 hits, 1 double, 2 RBIs to his name.
Another Maryland guy from UMBC. Willis tried to pick off Driscoll there. No go, gets back to base very easily. Now Willis sets, ready, still eyeing Driscoll there on first. Delivers his pitch. That one's top right side. Looked like Ethan McNally checked to maybe throw it to first base. He popped up for just a second. Now that one is another ball called. 2-1 count here. It's Cutney continuing to battle with Gray Willis from Gaithersburg. That pitch far outside, handled well by McNally, making sure Driscoll can't advance himself to second. Certainly Driscoll's taking a generous enough lead to get attention from Willis here early in the game. Another wide pitch. That's the 4th ball. Top right side of the plate. Cutney takes first. Driscoll heads to second. And Bryce Curry steps up to the plate to face Willis.
Yeah, Willis not really challenging Cutney in that last at-bat. I'm telling you, these Thunderbolt hitters, of course, they want to put the ball on the bat, but they're going to take a free base any day.
We already made that Moneyball reference. Brad Pitt likes people that gets on base no matter what. Obviously, there's a whole real story behind it with the Oakland A's and their legendary Moneyball days. If you've seen the movie with Brad Pitt, certainly one for baseball enjoyers to watch. Willis puts that one over the plate. That's fouled over towards the Gaithersburg bullpen. Almost could have reached the street there. Quite the hit off the bat.
Yeah, that one left the bat at 99 miles per hour. We saw a lot of high 90s exit velos last night for both teams.
Willis sends that one over the plate. That's right to the shortstop, Freddie Diaz. He gets the ball to first. But with that, the Thunderbolts have advanced their runners. Now Driscoll is on third. Cutney's on second. And Ryan Quadros is at the plate. He's got 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out to work with. Now that one far and outside from Willis for a first pitch ball.
Yeah, tough thing for the Giants is this is not the first time they've had a multi-run lead early in the game. The challenge is being able to hold on to that lead, and the Thunderbolts in a very strong situation here to take that 2-run lead back.
Willis winds up, sends this one back inside, and that is put into the gap by Quadros. 1 run will score. Driscoll crosses the plate. Cutney gets the third. Quadros finding the gap right there between Freddie Diaz and Danny Orr from the Giants. So that will be the first run scored for Silver Spring tonight.
Yeah, nothing Freddie Diaz could really do on that play. And Babayev had no chance to throw out the Thunderbolt at home plate there. Crop Dusters cut the lead in half. Excuse me, this is not the Crop Dusters, this is the Thunderbolts, excuse me.
A lot of games, a lot of teams to think about here in the Cal Ripken Summer League. The other night when we were down in Waldorf, I referred to a team as the Cleveland Indians just because I saw red and blue colors, and I don't know what I was even thinking of. That's not even a team in the MLB anymore. Found ourselves in a 1-0 count here with Brady Grimes at the plate for the T-Bolts. Another pitch into the dirt. McNally's going to have to fight to get back to it. 1 run will score as we had a man at third. Nolan Cutney crosses the plate. And Ryan Quadros takes himself to second. And just like that, it's a tie ball game.
Yeah, again, just a pitch there that got away from McNally. Didn't really have opportunity to throw out Cutney at home there.
And for both teams, we've seen a couple passed balls here. Wonder if the arena is playing a factor in that. You see both teams fighting for pass balls. Willis, another one in the top right of the strike zone, and now he's down 3-0 count to Brady Grimes at the plate. The 6'7" freshman takes ball 4 and heads to first base. Now, manager TJ Brockway is going to head out to the mound to talk with his man Gray Willis, who had a good first inning, certainly has a lot of velocity on his pitches, has a quick pitching motion, but here in the second inning, a lot of his balls have been in that top right of the strike zone. McNally having to reach for them, and sorry, not the strike zone, they've all been outside.
Yeah, Willis, I mean, once again, we have a perfect view of the strike zone here. I think the ump's doing a good job. Willis has been about, I'd say, a total of 5 inches away from 5 strikes that were called balls. However, they are just a little too outside. Just has to bring that in a little bit. I don't think we're seeing a pitching change here. Just trying to get his starter back in the zone to stop the bleeding in the bottom of the second.
As we mentioned, he faced 3 batters in the first inning. Wasn't exactly a 1-2-3. He had a walk, but some defensive help in a double play. He had the control. It's just about finding that. And manager TJ Brockway takes time, reviews with his starting pitcher for the night. Gets the team together, finding some composure. Josh Erd is up to the plate for the Thunderbolts now. We'll see how that timeout went as Willis lines up. That pitch, again, top right of the plate. If I was a left-handed hitter, which I am standing in the batter's box, that would have hit me just about in the belly button. This pitch now delivered low inside. Another ball called. T-Bolts have runners on second and first base. 2-2 game. 1 out here. There's a taken strike from Josh Erd. Kudrow's on second. Grimes is on first. Pitch away. Erd watches that. Good eye. 3-1 count now. 1 out here.
This would be a tough situation to give up another walk in this inning, loading the bases with only 1 out.
After a good first inning, can Grimes find it? Sends that one. It was closer to the plate. Still called ball. Bases are loaded now as Josh Erd takes his 4th ball. Matt Walters, the Cornell man, back up to the plate. Finds himself bases loaded. 1 out. Certainly a good offensive position to be found in. Getting back to the top of the order for the Thunderbolts. That one's over the plate. Taken strike from Willis. A little bit of complaining from Silver Spring. They thought it was a little high. And that pitch swung on by Walter. Fouled. Bounces back behind. Caleb Struvenot picks it up. Flips it back to McNally from the on-deck circle.
Entering this game, Willis had 2 strikeouts and 3 walks this summer. Now his strikeout count is nowhere near his walk count.
Now 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Willis finding himself in a better position than he's found in his matchups here in the second inning. Sends that one back to his right side position. 2nd ball in this count.
The last thing you want to see from the Giants are self-inflicted wounds here. Walking in runs is not what you want to have happen this early in the game.
Now Willis in a 2-2 count delivers this pitch far and outside, handled well by McNally. Steps up to make sure nobody tries any funny business with Ryan Kudros on third, Brady Grimes on second, and Josh Erd on first.
Big pitch here for the Giants.
Full count. Willis lines up facing Walter, delivers this one. That's over the plate. Walter puts it into play. Babayev runs, catches it. He's got to send it home. It's a bit of a bad throw. 1 run will score. That is Ryan Kudros who passes the plate for the T-Bolts. Now 3 runs on the board. Babayev spinning around. They called for it at third. They knew that he wasn't going to get it to the plate, but find themselves better defensively, not getting another guy to third base.
Yeah, it was a nice play there from Babayev. I don't even know if the objective was to make the play at home there, more just hitting his cutoff man. But again, that's not a walk and a self-inflicted wound, but that's Willis loading the bases there and giving the opportunities for the Thunderbolts to simply just put the ball in play to score a run.
Now Caleb Struvenot at the plate. Another far outside pitch from Willis. 1-1 count.
Struvenot, another player who has yet to record a hit this season. However, he has scored 3 times. One must have been as a pinch runner, as he's only been walked twice.
That one sent. Struvenot swings. Pass ball on McNally. He sets up good, though. No advancement from Grimes and Erd on the bases.
Yeah.
One.
Outside of that early wild pitch scoring one of the Thunderbolts' first runs, McNally has been very solid behind the plate.
Now Struvenot watches that one top right side. Two count, 2 outs here. The Silver Spring T-Bolts have scored all 3 of their runs here. So that pitch is delivered. Called ball. Good eye by Struvenot, taking that one inside near his shin.
Another big full count pitch about to be delivered.
Willis has found himself already in this position. Delivers this one. That's fouled off. A good pitch put right over the plate. Struvenot had to fight that one foul.
Yeah, that one coming off the bat at 89 miles per hour. However, was foul the whole way.
Now, Struvenot's got a pretty interesting bat on him. It's teal and pink. I wonder what the backstory is there. If it's maybe it's little Miami Vice colors. Keeps him hot. He tips that one right behind us. We're sitting under the bleachers. That was just a couple feet over. Thank goodness for the net.
Yes, thank goodness. We haven't had one come right back in our faces yet. We've been man enough to face them on. However, it is nice knowing we do have this net keeping us and our technology safe.
Willis lines up Struvenot in a full count, 2 outs, and he walks him. Once again, the T-Bolts find themselves in a base-loaded position. Manager TJ Brockway is headed out to talk to his guy. Looks like we have a potential bullpen change here for Gaithersburg. And it looks like manager TJ Brockway is going to pull Willis out of the game. Had a good first inning, 1, 2, 3. Has found himself bases loaded twice here. Walked into it. Coming into the game, it's going to be Evan Sarantani, the Denison man and sophomore right-hander, headed to the mound for the Gaithersburg Giants.
Now pitching for the Gaithersburg Giants.
Sarantani, the 6'2", 185 right-hand pitcher out of Denison University, looking to come in and close this inning as he begins to warm up.
And certainly a story we've seen a lot from Gaithersburg here early into the season. Still a young season here in the Cal Ripken League. Has been pitching, because there's not exactly a starting pitcher on Gaithersburg. They have a lot of good bullpen and relief guys, and they're looking for somebody to step up into that starting pitcher role, looking for their ace, and they haven't quite found it yet. So we've seen a lot of bullpen action from Gaithersburg.
Yeah, it's definitely tough with how the Cal Ripken League is ran. A lot of these, there's a lot of pitchers on an inning count that either delivered by the Cal Ripken League or the respected collegiate teams these players are affiliated with. Nevertheless, it's a lot of strategy from the coaching staff it takes to find your best arms and be able to maintain them so you're able to have them at the end of the season when you need them most.
Yes, a lot of situational pitching changes, making sure that the right guys are available at the right time. As we mentioned, we are both, Jake and I, new to the broadcast intern list this year, but we were talking with our co-worker David Lewis, who's been on the Giants staff for a couple years as a broadcaster. He mentioned that last year a problem was they just ran out of pitchers at the end of the year. The inning limits got too much, and that's kind of what was a break in the season. They took their foot off the gas, so manager TJ Brockway certainly trying to be strategic here with his inning limits.
Yes, and Tseronis, one of the better guys to bring in this situation. He has 3 innings pitched this season for the Giants with 1 walk and 5 strikeouts.
Tseronis finds himself facing Vance Benier, the catcher of the T-Bolts. Bases loaded, sends that one down almost to the dirt. Handled well by McNally behind the plate. First pitch ball for Tseronis. Vance Benier finds himself with bases loaded. 2 outs. That one was outside. Good movement on the pitch from Tseronis. Finds himself back over the plate. Called strike. 1-1, 2 outs now. Benier fouls that one right and over our heads here at the Blair High School baseball park. 1-2 count now. 2 outs again. Bases loaded for the T-Bolts. Second time they found themselves in this position in the inning. All 3 of their runs have scored, and that one is high. It's a pass-by pitch. McNally doesn't get back to it in time. A run will score. The big man, 6'7", Brady Grimes, gets home, and the T-Bolts advance their base runners as well. Now find themselves on second and third. 4 runs, all in this inning.
Yeah, just a tough pitch there. Not fully Tseronis' fault. Every pitcher has their wild pitches. However, he comes in to a bases-loaded situation. You have to eliminate those as much as you can.
Now Benier finds himself with only 2 men on base. 2-2 with 2 outs. Tseronis, there's the 3rd strike. Correction, 2nd strike. The scoreboard had us wrong here. Not our fault. That's up in the booth.
I will say I was very confident that the count was 2-2 there. Umpire faked us out. I will take credit for that strike 3 call, as that one was a very delayed one.
Yeah, so I started apologizing for the scoreboard here. Turns out we were correct with a 2-2 count. The umpire called strike 3, and everybody kind of just waited around in the infield. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if we were just gonna have another pitch for fun. Certainly everybody hesitated, but that's gonna end quite the scoring inning for the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. 4-2, they lead Gaithersburg. And stay with us here on the Gaithersburg Network. We got plenty of more action and time for G-Berg to Go ahead.
Good.
And we're back here. It's the Cal Ripken Summer League. Got the Gaithersburg Giants taking on the Silver Spring Thunderbolts here at Blair High School. And for Gaithersburg, it's Danny Orr stepping up to the plate. Some fantastic base running there in the first inning. He was the one that scored, and he puts this one into center field play. Under it, though, is Ryan Kudros of the Thunderbolts. Fields that one easy. Now Aaron Babayev, the left fielder, approaches the plate, ready to battle with Damaraki, the pitcher for the Thunderbolts. Now, that one taken strike. Sorry, ball. It was a check swing called ball.
It's tough to tell. Umpire does not have a strong strike call today.
No, he doesn't, as we mentioned, the end of that last inning. Bit of confusion, but now with that foul, we do have a strike. 1-1 count, 1 out for Aaron Babayev, facing Damaraki on the mound for the T-Bolts. Damaraki outlasting his counterpart, Gray Willis, the starting pitcher for Gaithersburg. So he continues out here, swing and a miss from Babayev, second strike of the count.
Yeah, Willis didn't get up too many hits last inning, however, 6 walks, and just not what you want to see from your starting pitcher.
Check swing, goes to the third base ump, called full swing, and he is out. Babayev walks back to his dugout, displeased with his performance. 2 outs here. Nobody's been on base, but it's number 38, Collin Hughes, the DH, who's been a big offensive power for Gaithersburg so far in this young season.
Hughes couldn't stay off the base path for the life of him last night.
He takes that first pitch, foul ball. Says it only came off the bat 68 miles an hour there, but I can assure you guys at home, Collin Hughes has a very hard swing. That one over the plate from Damaraki, called ball though. 1-1 count for Collin Hughes, the designated hitter for Gaithersburg tonight. The everyday catcher taking a totally offensive role.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we have all 3 catchers on the Giants lineup in the starting lineup today. We've seen all of them play this season, however, this is the first time they've all made the lineup together.
Certainly a strong position for Gaithersburg to put all 3 of them out there. We got Zach White up on first base from his normal behind-the-plate duties, and Collin Hughes not happy with the strike there. Takes a second to reset himself outside the batter's box. Now he faces up to face Damaraki. It's a 2-2 count. Strike 3's over the plate. Hughes not happy that he watched that one. Talks with the ump a little bit. Isn't going to change his mind, though. And we are headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. No runs there. More action ahead. They're taking a break. So are we on the Gaithersburg.
You ready?
Yeah. And we're back here. It's the Cal Ripken Summer Collegiate League. We're here out at Blair High School. We got the Gaithersburg Giants visiting the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. And still out on the mound for Gaithersburg is Evan Tseronis. We saw a pitching change last inning.
Yeah, Tseronis, definitely one of the stronger arms in the Giants bullpen this season. Gave up 1 run on a wild pitch there. However, as I mentioned, on the season so far, before last inning, he had 5 strikeouts and only 1 walk.
And that was a first pitch ball to Aiden Driscoll. Driscoll, the UMD Terrapin himself, playing DH tonight for the T-Bolts.
Driscoll walked in his last at-bat, one of many.
A lot of walks in that last inning. That's why we saw Tseronis on the mound now. He puts that pitch low, not quite to the dirt, handled well by McNally, called ball. 2-1 count now for the leadoff man. Driscoll lines up. Tseronis stares him down, puts that one into play. Driscoll fielded perfectly by Diaz, the shortstop, and he gets that to first base to Zach White, the everyday catcher. Used to getting behind the ball perfect there in the first out of the inning.
Yeah, nice routine play there for Freddie Diaz and Zach White. And some good pitching there from Tseronis, excuse me.
Tseronis now faces Nolan Cutney. 6'3" out of UMBC, the senior. Playing second base tonight for Silver Spring. Tseronis stares him down, readies his windup, puts that one over the plate, and that is the first strike of the at-bat. Now Tseronis, that one is fouled off. Nolan Cutney battling with it. Second strike here in the count. 1-2, 1 out. Tseronis came in for relief in the last inning to get the third out with bases loaded after 1 run scored. That's a high pitch. Called for the first base ump's opinion there. Still a ball. 2-2, 1 out. Tseronis readies his pitch, puts that one over the plate, swing, miss. Nolan Cutney heads back to his dugout without anything to show for.
Yeah, that was a great at-bat for Tseronis. He had Cutney swinging all over the place there and eventually comes out on top.
Now, Bryce Curry, the senior, the man from Hofstra, the third baseman, steps up to the plate. Tseronis puts that one high and inside near Curry. Ball to begin this at-bat. 2 outs. Curry ready at the plate. Tseronis throws that one too low for the strike zone. 2-1 for this at-bat. 2 outs. Curry readied. That one over the plate, too high though. 3 balls to start this at bat for Evan Tseronis, the guy out of Denison for these Gaithersburg Giants. Now this pitch right into the strike zone. Bryce Curry probably keeping the bat on his shoulder there. Wasn't going to swing even if it was a meatball down the middle. Up in the count, trying to be a strategic at-bat. Now here's the pitch. That one far outside, and Tseronis puts Curry on first base without him having to swing.
Yeah, Tseronis trying to fight back there. Not able to fully win that battle. Gives up his first walk in his appearance today.
Ryan Kudros up to the plate now. Another right-hander. He's in center field tonight.
Kudros driven an RBI single in his first at-bat.
Another brightly colored bat here for Silver Spring. I'm noticing that a bit of a theme for this team. Wonder if there's a backstory behind it. Serentani ready to face that bright blue bat now. Delivers the pitch. Check swing there. Strike called on Ryan Kudros.
Kudros, one of the few seniors in this starting lineup. The Giants, consistently one of the younger teams in the Cowrican League this summer.
Certainly, Silver Spring's one of those older teams. A couple upperclassmen, a lot of experience, and that goes to stand early in the season. The experience has mattered as they sit atop of the division, while the young Giants are fighting from the bottom of the totem pole. Serentani puts that one over the plate. It's swing, miss. Kudros takes time to gather himself outside. We have a 2-2 count now. 2 outs here. 4-2 is the game. All 4 of those runs came in the last inning for the T-Bolts. That one put into play by Kudros. That's headed to center field. And the play is made by Jaden Brown. It looked like Brown and Babayev weren't really sure who was going to get it, but it ends up in the glove of Brown to end the inning. This is the Gaithersburg Giants Network. They're taking a break out on the field, so we will as well in the booth. Stay listening.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go back. And we're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants Network. 4 runs for the T-Bolts, 2 for your Giants. Up to the plate now, it's Joey Nicholson in right field tonight.
Nicholson walked in his first at-bat against the T-Bolts.
Damaraki still out on the mound, sends that one, puts it into play as Nicholson, but it's perfectly to the right fielder. Struvenot makes the routine catch. A little bit of backpedaling, but nothing he can't work with.
Yeah, Struvenot backpedaling for his life there. Gets it back in time to catch the 96-mile-per-hour line out from Nicholson.
Nicholson certainly got the power off the bat, just needs a little bit more distance to get that one out of here at Blair High School. Taking first strike from Zach White, playing first base tonight, usually behind the plate, a guy from Louisiana Monroe. Far outside pitch from Damaraki.
Zach White had 2 RBI singles, along with another single in the last game, and as you mentioned, those stats allowed him to be player of the game.
That one hit into the field, but it's right to the glove of Josh Erd, the shortstop in white for Silver Spring. 2 outs, 2 balls off the bat so far, but have been right to gloves here in this inning.
Yeah, 2 unfortunate hits for the Gaithersburg Giants. Zach White didn't have time to drop his bat before that ball was caught.
Damaraki now faces Brady Powell. The man at second, and from Radford out there for Gaithersburg. Damaraki throws his first strike of the at-bat. 1-1 count, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Powell took a couple games off for the Giants, but is batting .222 on the season with 4 hits to his name.
And Bow gets behind that one into the gap. Diving play not made by Josh Erd. Powell finds himself on first base.
Yeah, unlike the first 2 hits by the Giants, that one placed perfectly, able to get through the left side of the infield.
Erd attempted a diving catch. Not enough, though.
That is Powell's second single of the game.
First pitch strike from Damaraki. He's facing Ethan McNally, the guy behind the plate tonight. There's 3 catchers in the lineup. He's the one that got the defensive side of catching.
McNally batting .500 on the season so far in 8 plate appearances. Grounded out in his first at-bat.
That one far outside from Damaraki. It's a 2-1 count. 2 outs here. Ethan McNally taking on Damaraki, the pitcher. He was the starter and remains in for the T-Bolts. And we got a steal from Brady Powell. It was a ball call, and Powell is easily safe, showing off his speed.
Yeah, that was a nice takeoff from Powell there, sliding in before the ball even reached the middle infield of the T-Bolts. Now in a scoring position for his catcher.
I need to learn, but I mean, I'm sure if I looked a little harder, but I just wanted to get it done.
McNally at the plate sends that one into play. Matthew Walter routinely behind it ends that side of the inning for the T-Bolts. Brady Powell left out there on second base. No runs scored in that inning. This is the Gaithersburg Giants Network.
Ready?
Yep. We're back here at Blair High School where the Gaithersburg Giants are visiting the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. Out on the mound still for Gaithersburg is Evan Sarantani in a relief effort. Getting ready to face Brady Grimes, the tall man, 6'7", 245 for the T-Bolts. Swing and a miss. Has the height, has the size, doesn't put the bat behind the ball there. First strike of the inning. And that pitch is behind his head. Grimes, the tall man, ducked to get under that one.
And if you can't tell from the broadcast, Brady Grimes is an absolute unit in the box right now.
That pitch, another one going behind Ethan McNally, the catcher. Sarantani looking to find a little bit more control. Grimes finds himself 2-1 count, 0 out. He's leading off this inning for the T-Bolts. And that pitch put into play to the third baseman. Danny Orr gets the throw across. Catch made by Zach White. And that is the first out.
Yeah, going into this game, Collin, you talked about how the third baseman, there hasn't been a third baseman found for the Giants there, but Danny Orr making a nice backhand play there for the first out of the inning.
We've seen a couple guys try it out at third base. We've seen Orr bounce around a little bit in the infield there, showing some impressive defensive skills. Giants trying to come into their own and get hot as the season continues to progress through the end of June and into July. First pitch ball there. It's Josh Erd now to the plate for Silver Spring.
Erd, one of the 6 Thunderbolts to be walked in their first at-bats.
Erd finds himself 2-0 count. Sarantani stares him down. Readies his pitch, winds up, puts that one over the plate. Bouncing catch impressively made by Sarantani. Very casually, didn't even need his glove there.
I mean, I am shocked that Sarantani kept his composure there. That was a very impressive play. Gets the ball with his throwing hand and just overhand toss it to Zach White for the impressive second out of the inning.
I'm sure manager TJ Brockway held his breath a little bit seeing his guy out on the mound catching with his throwing hand. Not something you always want to see from your pitchers, but works out positively nonetheless.
Yeah, that one I don't think it was hit too hard back at him. However, TJ probably still holding his breath as it is early in the season.
Matthew Walter for the plate in white for Silver Spring. Swings and misses there. 0-2 count. Sarantani finding himself up early, looking for that third out for this side of the inning and to cap off the fourth. And Sarantani puts that one just a little too low for the ump.
Yeah, you could tell by Sarantani's face there. He wasn't happy with his pitch placement.
Sarantani readies, winds up, puts this one. It's high. Nobody's on the base. That one had to bounce over Ethan McNally's head.
Sarantani still has one ball to give before ending his very strong bottom of the fourth.
Walter fighting himself back into this at-bat. That pitch is sent into center field. It is deep. Brown's running for it. He loses his hat, but he has the ball. I think he'll take that trade-off every day of the week. That's the third out of the inning, and Gaithersburg escapes scoreless. Certainly impressive there from Jaden Brown in center field, showing off his speed. And with that, we're going to take a break before the fifth inning here at Blair High School. Stay listening, stay watching, stay tuned in. sidewinder, but it's like there. All right. And we're back here, Blair High School, Gaithersburg Giants, Silver Spring T-Bolts. It's 4-2. We've had a pitching change here for the T-Bolts. First of the game, entering the game, number 43, Michael Presk out of Cecil Community College. And now, Freddie Diaz at the plate for Gaithersburg. First pitch, over the plate. Ball nonetheless. Presk has a sidearm throwing motion. It's not as low as some typical sidewinders are. Still almost brings it fully across his body. Quite interesting, and an interesting pitching motion. An interesting strike thrown there. 1-1 count.
Yeah, if you were tuned in for the last Giants T-Bolts game, Presk entered as a reliever as well.
And that ball put in play past the third baseman, Curry, and Diaz finds himself on first base, looks to go to, but Caleb Struve able to get to the ball fast enough to prevent Diaz from reaching the extra base. And some impressive speed there shown. If you stayed watching during the break while Jake and I took a break, you might have saw some kids running the infield. There was a kids infield race here. Impressive base running. We did have one small collision from the kiddos out at second base, but nonetheless, hopefully no collisions here in the main baseball game. I will give Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts some props. They've had some good promotions going on tonight. We had the kiddos race. We had the Nando's chicken mascot throw out the first pitch. Certainly trying to get the fans and the community involved here in the Cal Ripken Summer League. That was a ball thrown by Presk. Community, such an important part here. Swing and a miss there from Jaden Brown.
And it's a little late now, but I do want to mention there are some extra cheers on that hit by Freddie Diaz, as that is his first hit of the season for him. So I know he's happy to get a tally in the hit column.
We talked about Freddie Diaz able to get on base this year, was able to get an RBI earlier in the game. Happy to see him finally be himself the one that gets the hit, gets himself onto base, slowly chipping away at the batting average. And Brown just doesn't quite put that one in play, bounces foul before it reaches third base. 2-2 count. No outs here. As we mentioned, Freddie Diaz, the man on first base for Gaithersburg.
Presk had a 8.49 ERA in his 9 appearances for Cecil Community College.
That one inside. Brown hooks it around to right field. Diaz and Brown both get to take their base. Matthew Walter got behind it, and now Danny Orr is going to have a guy in scoring position. Freddie Diaz on second, Jaden Brown on first. Jaden Brown showing both some offense after that impressive defensive catch to end the inning earlier. Traded his hat for the ball on the run. Or the man with no gloves up at the plate now, playing third base. Saw some impressive defense from him earlier. Stared down by Presk. Presk agrees with his catcher finally on a pitch. Sets up, checks second base. A little bit of dancing from Diaz. Diaz is going. That one is fouled off by Danny Orr. Almost was able to put it in play. Diaz had a fantastic jump on it. If that was put in play, it could have been a score for Gaithersburg. If that was a taken strike or ball, Diaz probably could have gotten to third there. I think Brown also took off from first base.
Diaz was 90 feet from home by the time the ump made that call. We haven't mentioned it because it hasn't been too effective, but Diaz has been getting some huge leads on the base path.
Presk certainly checked back on him that time, but Diaz still trying to stay effective, stay loose, and stay fast.
Yeah, if you remember his first game and his first time on base, he was the first base runner for the Giants. Caught himself in a pickle against the Senators, was able to elude back to first base. However, he is a very aggressive base runner.
Wonder if he got any inspiration from the kids during that inning break. Presk now checks back on the speedy. Diaz puts this one outside right of the plate. Ball called. Danny Orr finds himself 1-1 count. No outs. He's got 2 guys on base. It's Diaz, the speedster, that's in scoring position at second. Presk winds up, puts that one right side of the plate. Another ball for Danny Orr.
And Orr has a very interesting batting stance. The top of his bat almost facing all the way back to the pitcher, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Orr has 4 RBIs on the season with a chance to get a 5th one here.
As that high elbow swings on that one, puts it into play. Diaz has speed. He's going to go home. The play is open. Never mind. He checked back. They got it to the shortstop, or rather, yes, the shortstop there in time. Good play. We heard the 4 call. We saw Diaz turning his head. He backed off at the last second. Danny Orr finds himself bases loaded. The UMBC retriever putting his guy Aaron Babayev in a great position as he approaches the plate with no outs.
Yeah, 3 singles to start off this inning. The great chance, as you just said, for Babayev here.
Orr has an aggressive lead on first. Brady Grimes, the first baseman, also far off the bag, giving Orr that room for some potentially aggressive base running. Certainly, we've talked about Diaz out on third right now, showing a good lead. And we've already seen Jaden Brown's speed from the outfield. How will it impact the base running here? Pitches inside on Babayev. Presk finds himself down early in this count. 2-0, no outs. Aaron Babayev has his bases loaded as Gaithersburg looks to retake the lead that they lost in the bottom of the second inning. Babayev watches that one over the plate, up in the count, trying to get that third ball. Doesn't. 2-1 now for this at-bat.
Babayev here trying to get his first RBI of the season. He has 3 doubles and batting .417.
Check swing there. Ball did not determine that he got across the plate there. We're 3-1 now for Aaron Babayev. Bases loaded. Presk looking to not walk in a run, but in the position to do so. Babayev lines up, swings on that one. It's high. It's foul. It's over by the Giants dugout, and it hits the roof of it. Bryce Curry got all the way up against the fence, looking to make a play. Doesn't have the chance to do so. Now it's a full count for Babayev. Vance Bonnier gives the ump a new ball. Vice versa. They were checking back and forth with it. Babayev resets himself in the batter's box. Again, bases loaded, full count. Presk eyes him down. Presk delivers a hittable pitch, but Babayev misses, and again for the second at-bat in a row, Babayev walks back to the dugout upset with his performance.
Yeah, nice off-speed pitch here on 3-2. Definitely a ballsy pitch there, however, it works out in his favor as Presk gets his first strikeout in his outing.
But with Babayev headed back to the dugout, you know what that means, Jake. It's Collin Hughes, the designated hitter, coming to the plate in a fantastic position. Bases loaded, only 1 out.
No one better you want in a bases loaded situation.
First pitch, strike watching. 0-1, 1 out. Hughes, we've talked about it, has been big here for the Giants. He was added to the roster a little bit late. Our colleague David Lewis and I were on the call for his debut just 3 games ago, down in Waldorf. That was fun to see Hughes start to get in the action. We got to talk to him after the game, and he's excited to be a part to grow with this Gaithersburg squad. And get to know a new group of guys and play some fun baseball. Certainly has a chance to make it fun here. The bases are loaded with him up to the plate. Swings at that one. Misses on it. Hits the catcher on the backswing. No interference. 1-2 count. 1 out here.
2 effective off-speed pitches we've seen in back-to-back at-bats for Presk. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the Giants cannot afford to leave this inning scoreless.
Certainly with bases loaded and a speedy guy like Diaz on third, you want to see at least 1 run, if not 2, if not 3, brought in. Chopped across his body. That's fouled back to the T-Bolts dugout. Their bat boy runs to go grab it.
Hughes with an RBI double already in this game.
Hughes in a big position here. The designated hitter, and that's exactly what the Giants are looking for, is a hit. Pitches away. It's far left side of the plate, maintained by Benier. And Hughes finds himself in a better spot in this at-bat. 2-2, 1 out. Hughes readies. Presk eyes him down. Puts that one over the plate. Hughes got a good piece of it. Fouled back.
Yeah, good fight here from Hughes. Still not at full yet. However, he is making Presk earn this at-bat.
Certainly upping Presk's pitch count. Hughes talks to himself, resettles outside the batter's box, readies it now. Presk sets his windup, puts that one over the plate. It's put into play by Hughes. That is to the the second baseman. Hughes is safe at first. Diaz got home. We were waiting for a double play. Or was out at second.
Now batting, right fielder, number 10, Joey.
There's Hughes getting an RBI single. Unfortunate to see Orr get out, but I think Gaithersburg is happier with a run on the board rather than bases loaded.
Yeah, that double play would have been devastating for the Giants, leaving the inning scoreless. They get 1 in, however, still, if you have bases loaded, no outs, you're really hoping for more than 1 run, especially when you are down 2.
And now at the plate, trying to change that situation, is Joey Nicholson.
Joey Nicholson walked in his first at-bat, lined out in his last one. It was a heater to the left fielder.
Presk eyes him down. Puts that one over the plate. That's fouled high. They said it hit the box. Will not be in fair play. Presk off the mound, refinding himself. Presk had bases loaded, no outs. Only 1 run is scored off that, hoping to get out of this inning with it staying that way. It's Hughes on first. It's Brown on third. Presk readies the pitch. Hughes takes a bit of a lead. He's going to. That one's put into play through the gap. Brown will score. Hughes with the lead. He's going 3. The ball is there. They call him out. Caleb Struve not able to get the ball there in time to Bryce Curry. Aggressive base running from Collin. Hughes, although Gaithersburg gets that 4th run in with Jaden Brown. Not the perfect bases loaded scenario, but certainly one Gaithersburg will take. Stay listening on the Gaithersburg Giants Network. This game is now tied.
Ready?
We're back here. Gaithersburg Giants Network. The Giants tied it up 4-4 with the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. They're in that last inning, and with that tie-up, they've also decided to call in the bullpen. Number 12, Cody Sharman, out on the bump for the Giants now. The sophomore out of Frostburg, and a lefty.
Sharman's got 2 innings pitched for the Giants this season. In those 2 innings, he gathered 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
And now Strudevant up to the plate. He just made that really impressive throw from left field to get Collin Hughes out despite his aggressive base running. So Strudevant looking to make an impact defensively and offensively. That pitch is outside, 2-0 in the leadoff at bat for Sharman, the new pitcher for Gaithersburg.
At Frostburg, Sharman's had 9 innings pitched. He allowed 9 hits and 6 runs.
And that one's put into play, easily fielded by Brady Powell. Takes 2 steps up, perfectly under it. That's the first out of the inning, and Sharman's first out of his performance today.
And just to finish up with Sharman's stats, as I said, 9 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned. He allowed 5 walks and 7 strikeouts.
And Banier now up to bat, fouls that one backwards. Jake, I know you were looking at your computer there. That one came flying back right at us.
That one, I heard the mat on the backstop here. Big boom from that pitch.
That pitch now called ball 1-1 in this count. 1 out here. Vance Banier at the plate. The man behind the plate steps up at the bat, swings at that one, misses it. Checks himself outside of the batter's box, finding his zone. It's a 1-2 count. 1 out here. Sharman facing his second batter in this game. Banier puts that one high fly ball. Nobody's under it. Eventually picked up by Aaron Babayev. It was Diaz, Brown, Babayev all running at it in a triangle, and it dropped just in the middle of them.
Yeah, Bonier putting that ball in the perfect position there. I saw Babayev was sprinting at the ball as hard as he could, just wasn't able to fall under it in time, and Babayev gets a Bonier gets a blooper single out of it.
I'll tell you, that ball had to have been in the perfect spot because we've talked about Diaz's speed, we've talked about Brown's speed. Aaron Babayev has some legs under it himself, and if those 3 guys can't get at it, I think that ball was in the perfect spot.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Now it's Aiden Driscoll up at the plate. Strike called there, left side of the plate, 73 miles an hour from Sharman.
Driscoll's another T-Bolt looking for his first hit. He walked his first at-bat, grounded out the second.
That one a little bit in the dirt, maintained by McNally. He pops up, keeping Strudevant honest there out on first base. No worries from Zach White. He kept calm, cool, and collected there. On the same wavelength as his fellow catcher behind the plate. That ball just inside on Driscoll. Sorry, correction, that's Banier out on first base. I said Strudevant. Now Sharman checks first base, winds up, puts this one. It's into play from Driscoll. It's a double play opportunity. Play not made in time. They did get Banier out at first, but impressive base running by Driscoll. White not able to maintain on first base in time. And one more out in the inning, and the T-Bolts are in the same position they were.
Yeah, I believe Bonier's slide was affected Diaz on his throw. Bonier came in hot and just pushed Zach White off enough to allow Driscoll to reach base.
Now up at the plate, it's Nolan Cutney. First swing is a miss. 1 strike at this at bat. Sharman lines up, readies himself, winds up, puts that one inside. It's put into play by Cutney. Runners will only Joey Nicholson sent that one to third base just to make sure there wasn't any shenanigans happening. Up at the plate now, it's Bryce Curry, the senior from Long Island on Hofstra. Not from Long Island, but he plays at Hofstra out in Hempstead. Second base tonight. He's got a guy in scoring position. Giants tied this game up in the last half inning. T-Bolts looking to retake the lead they had. That pitch called strike, 0-1, 2 outs here for Bryce Curry.
Yeah, Sharman giving up 2 hits this inning. However, the first one being a little blooper, and has done well so far.
Sharman puts that one over the plate. Catches Curry looking 0-2 for this at bat. Sharman up as he's looking for his 3rd out here. Showing relief. The starter was Gray Willis, then Evan Sarantini. Now we got Cody Sharman out of the bullpen. Sends this pitch away. Check swing. They call for the first base umpire. He says no swing. First ball of the count. 1-2, 2 outs. Sarantini sending it down to McNally, who's behind the plate. It's Curry for the at-bat for the T-Bolts. That one is a high foul ball over our right heads towards the concession stands, towards the football field here at Blair High School.
Yeah, some nice off-beat there from Sharman. Curry just able to get the top of his bat on that ball to stay alive.
Curry fighting this at bat. He's got 2 runners on base. And that one put up the left field side. He's got Driscoll on second, Cutney on first, hoping to fight back for the lead the T-Bolts once had before entering the 5th inning. Curry ready at the plate. Sharman puts that one inside. Curry takes a swing at it. It's off Sharman's glove, and the bases are now loaded.
Yeah, just an unfortunate situation there for Sharman. Last night, we also saw one of the Giants pitchers try to go out and make the play themselves. However, in that situation, I believe Freddie Diaz would have been able to field that ball and get the 3rd out of this inning. However, now we find the T-Bolts in a bases-loaded position once again in a tie ball game.
Ryan Quadros steps to the plate. He's got 2 outs on the board, but he's got guys on every single base out there looking to get one of them home. Quite a generous lead there from Aiden Driscoll. Made McNally check himself for a second after he got the ball behind home. McNally heads out, talks with this guy Sharman, making sure they're on the same wavelength here for this pivotal at-bat. 2 outs in this game. 4-4.
Yeah, two of the 3 base runners on reached on error, so if they were able to come in here, it'd be more of the self-inflicted wounds we talked about earlier in this game. And
McNally once again going back out to Sharman. Sharman wanting to talk with his catcher. Covering their faces with the glove, making sure nobody's a lip reader out there from the T-Bolts, getting inside information.
I was going to say, McNally said something to the umpire before going out. Don't know if he told him it was going to be quick.
2 outs here. It's Ryan Quadros at the plate. He has the bases loaded. McNally catches that one cleanly. First strike of the at-bat.
Yeah, big big strike one swing for Quadros there. It's going to be Marymount University player for the T-Bolts.
Sharman delivers another swing and a miss from Quadros. 1-2 count now, 2 outs here. This battle between Quadros and Sharman, certainly pivotal moment for this game. The bases are loaded. The Giants were just able to tie it back up. Sharman puts that one over the plate. It's put into play, and it's a missed catch by the left fielder. Aaron Babayev can't hold on to it. They're going home with the first run scored. Second run is there as well. Bryce Curry goes over the plate. 3 runs, were able to score there off of the double.
And that is just not the situation you want there. Now, that is a tough situation for Babayev to be in. You got a 50-50 chance ball on the dive. There's 2 outs, however, there's bases loaded there. And in that situation, Babayev should have taken the step back and fielded that cleanly and threw it in, allowing definitely 1, but maybe only 1, if not 2 runs to come in on that hit.
Base clearing double rather. Certainly not what you want to see if you're Gaithersburg. I mentioned they just tied the ball game up in the top of this inning. Sharman regathers himself. He's facing Brady Grimes, the tall first baseman, puts that one over the plate. First strike of the battle. 1-1. As we mentioned, 2 outs here. Bases were loaded. It's now a 7-4 ball game after that base clearing double.
Two strong back-to-back off-speed pitches we've seen from Sharman here as he looks to finally close out this unfortunate bottom of the 5th inning for the Giants.
And defensive mistakes, the story of this inning for the Giants. Saw the missed dive there from Babayev. This pitch off inside on Grimes. We saw the blooper land in the middle of left field for the first. We saw that ball go off Sharman's glove that was hit right back to him that allowed for the bases to be loaded. And then obviously on the last at-bat, Aaron Babayev trying to slide in, trying to make a play. Ends with all 3 runners on base reaching back to where they started at home plate.
As Grimes has fought his way all the way back to a full count. He's another Thunderbolt still looking for his first hit this game.
Sharman versus Grimes. Sharman stares him down. Checks second base. Winds up, delivers this one. It is in play. Easily fielded by Diaz, and he gets it to his guy, Zach White. And that is the 3rd out, which what could have been scoreless turns into a base-clearing double after loaded bases. It's now 7-4 here in this game. The T-Bolts are up. We're going to take a break. That was an action-packed inning. We expect more to come. Stay listening, stay watching.
are going to lose, at least get us out of here early, you know.
Yeah. And we're back here. Blair High School, Gaithersburg Giants taking on the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. This game's 7-4 after 5 total runs scored there in the 5th inning. The T-Bolts got a new pitcher out on the mound. It's John Doyle out of Marymount in the dirt for the T-Bolts.
Yeah, John Doyle out of Marymount didn't have any innings pitched or statistics in his first season for them. Doyle has about a half inning pitched for the Thunderbolts this summer. So looking to build up his resume here.
That one a high second ball here as he takes on Zach White playing first base tonight for Gaithersburg. Doyle gets White swinging on that one, 2-1 in the count. Doyle, certainly the largest pitcher we've seen tonight. 6'3", tall frame, 220. Delivers that one inside, called strike. Nonetheless, 2-2 in the count. Doyle, 83 there on that pitch. And a swing and a miss from White. Doyle effective facing his first batter.
Doyle took 2 pitches to dial in there, then delivers 3 straight strikes against Zach White. Not a guy you see strike out a lot. Usually puts the ball in play.
Now Brady Powell up at the plate for the Giants. Watches the first pitch over the plate. Sinker, called strike.
Yeah, a lot of off speed we've seen from Doyle. A lot of much slower velocity.
That one high in the zone. First ball in this battle.
And as I say that, he delivers an 83-mile-per-hour fastball.
Doyle certainly showing his versatility. That one low into the dirt, called strike. 83 on that pitch.
Powell has a pair of singles this game. Coming in to this game batting .222.
Third strike there. Brady Powell took it watching. He's headed back to the dugout. Doyle effective in his first 2 at-bats faced. He's got Ethan McNally, the guy behind the plate, stepping up to bat. See if Doyle can make this a 1-2-3 inning. Doyle sends that one high.
And
Ball 1.
I have to comment on our view again because these pitches that we see coming in from Doyle are disgusting. Lots of movement on these pitches, and honestly can't blame the first 2 Giants here for striking out.
That one put into play, high fly ball. 2 T-Bolts are under it. It's Matthew Walter, that makes the final catch. Doyle faced 3 batters in this inning, all 3 of them outs. That was a quick top of the 6th, and we're going to take a quick break with that. Stay with us here on the Gaithers.
You ready?
Yep. We're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants Network. Manager TJ Brockway has called on his Malloy man out of the bullpen. Now on the bump, it's Dylan Shriver, the right-hander. He gets ready to face Josh Erd, the shortstop for these T-Bolts. Shriver stares down his first battle. First pitch, check swing, not enough. It's a ball in the bottom right.
Yeah, Dylan Shriver has had 3.
And that one put into play, fielded by Brady Powell. Sorry, correction. Powell ended up dropping that.
Yeah, just kind of brought the glove there too early. That's a fundamental mistake there from Powell. Allows the T-Bolts first runner to reach base. As I was saying, Shriver has had 3 innings pitched with 1 strikeout, 4 walks, and 5 hits. However, for Malloy College, he has 11 appearances. He's allowed 17 hits, 10 runs, and 21 strikeouts. So he's been very successful in his collegiate career trying to do that here for the Giants.
The Thunderbolts back at the top of the order. The right fielder, Matt Walter, approaches the plate. That second pitch is sent deep into right field. Under it is Joey Nicholson. Forces Erd to get back to first base. He'd gotten quite close to second. Erd thinking that one might have been over into the woods here in Silver Spring. Nicholson able to track that one down here in the lights, as it is quite dark out here now at Blair High School.
Yeah, definitely not the best lighting you got. I mean, we are playing at a high school, of course. You know, they don't have all the funding in the world.
Shriver delivers that one too high for the zone. That's a ball. It's Caleb Strudenot at the plate with the teal bat. Watches that one inside.
Strudenot's got a teal bat, a red arm sleeve, and he has knickers on with tall blue socks. So definitely an interesting outfit.
He's got a sliding glove hanging out of his back pocket as well. Wears black gloves. I think if he was playing MLB The Show, he certainly bought some currency, maxed out all of his accessories.
Oh, definitely.
He does have matching cleats, though. You know, sometimes they switch it up, have one left, one right, different colors.
Too early in the season for that play.
Shriver puts that one almost in the dirt, though. He's going to take second. Walter slides in. He's safe. Walter smart base running. As soon as he saw that was past McNally, he took off.
That was a very hard pitch throw, an 89 by Shriver, and that was a pretty fantastic throw from McNally. Made a play look to be gone close.
And that one is foul tipped, hits the dirt, goes behind McNally. Vance Bonnier goes, picks that one, returns that ball to the dugout. This is the Cal Ripken Summer Collegiate League. We don't have unlimited baseballs. Every single one counts. Now Shriver facing Strudenot. He puts that one into play, fielded by Diaz. He sends that one to first. But with that, Strudenot was able to advance Walter to third base after the great aggressive steal from Walter on the passed ball. So, the T-Bolts find themselves in a good position with 2 outs. Have a guy on third. And that pitch is a wild one. McNally's going to have to make a play to his pitcher. And they call him safe. Great base running there from the T-Bolts. Sorry, that was Josh Erd. I had been saying that was Walter. Again, we're under the bleachers. It's a bit hard to see the numbers. Once I switch that up, Josh Erd stole second, was advanced to third on a out. and steals home there on the pitch that got by McNally. Shriver got to the plate, certainly made the ump make a tough call. That one off the bat of Benier. They send that one to first, get out of this inning with 1 run with the aggressive base running from Josh Erd. Gaithersburg has work to do to tie this game up. Once again, they're down 8-4. And stay with us. Action to happen. We got Gaithersburg up to bat next here on Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. We're back here. It's the top of the 7th inning. The Giants are up to the plate. It's their guy, Freddie Diaz, the speedster at shortstop, got his first hit of the season in his last at-bat. Heard some cheers from the dugout. Looking to find the second hit of the season now to help Gaithersburg get back into this one.
Sorry, I was just going to say this time it's going to be a little tougher to get his first hit because John Doyle is coming off a heater of a 6th inning for himself. The versatility, as you mentioned, is wide.
Certainly Doyle coming back out there after a very aggressive 6th inning, faced 3 batters, got them all packing. And he looks to do that again here. 1-1 count facing Diaz. Doyle readies his pitch. Winds up, delivers that one over the plate. Diaz caught looking at it. Takes a second to regather himself. 1-2 in this count. Now have to fight back into it for his second hit of the season. And he chops at that one. It was a high ball, barely gets under it, lollipops it right back to the backstop.
Yeah, he barely got that ball. It was such a light sound off the bat, but it is enough to keep him alive.
Doyle readies. Needs one more strike. He had it there. Diaz puts that one high. It's going to be caught by the catcher, Vance Benier. It was very close to the dugout, but not far enough away for Benier. That's the first out of the inning. Diaz not happy as he walks back to his team. But with that, Gaithersburg finds themselves at the top of the order. Jaden Brown, the center fielder, Ranger College man himself. Puts the ball behind the bat on that one, looks for the gap, and it drops. Bit of a blooper. Brown will look to go to for a second. Josh Erd just not able to find that one as he was running towards the outfield.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen a ball fall in between that shortstop, center field, and left field area. This time it goes in favor of the Giants as John Doyle gives up his first hit after giving after allowing 2 strikeouts and 2 pop-outs in his first 4 batters.
We mentioned the lighting here was certainly playing a factor at this moment. Josh Erd showed his speed on the base path in that last inning, not able to find that one.
Or up in a dire situation for the Giants. Right man to have up, he has a double and a single. In between that, he had a pop-up.
Or swings at that one. No contact made. Doyle has stayed hot here. This count is a 1-1. Doyle readies, facing the man, Orr. Puts that one over the plate, swing and a miss from Danny Orr.
And that one came across the plate at 66 miles per hour, as you see there. The slowest pitch we've seen today, and I believe this season. Lots of movement on that one.
Doyle showing his versatility. Orr gets behind that one, pulls it foul.
Yeah, I mean, 66 miles per hour, moving like that, definitely a tough pitch to hit.
Now Doyle checks first base. Jaden Brown is out there for Gaithersburg after that blooper single. There's a pitch to the outside of the zone. 2-2 is the count for Danny Orr. Gaithersburg looking for production. They're down 4 runs. And Orr gets behind that one. Double play opportunity, but it's wide. Brown gets the second clean. He's going to be able to get to third. Danny Orr had ran through first base just too much to get to. But now brings Aaron Babayev to the plate with a guy on first and a guy in scoring position, Jaden Brown on third.
Yeah, good on Freddie Diaz there for running through the play. You know, definitely could have jogged that one off thinking he was going to be a routine out. However, stays running through second base hard. And that error allowed him to reach third base, and Danny Orr also doing the right thing, running as hard as he can to first base, trying to keep the double play from not happening.
Certainly the middle infielders, Nolan Cudney and Josh Erd, not happy there. Probably just a little too excited at the potential of a double play. And we have a drop, tried pickoff. Brown is safely going to get to home. And Danny Orr got to second clean, and he gets to third jogging. And just like that, Gaithersburg has a little bit of life. There was a pickoff attempt from Doyle. And just like that, as we're talking about where guys are at, we have 1 run in. That's the 5th for Gaithersburg, and Orr gets himself all the way from first to third after a missed pickoff. The tall man, Brady Grimes, just wasn't ready for it from Doyle. I mentioned Grimes he plays off of first base quite a bit much. Seemed to hurt him there.
Yeah, I mean, the pickoff was definitely thrown in the dirt a little bit before first base, but yeah, just poor execution from the Thunderbolts there. Before that play happened, you saw the catcher give some signs to his middle infield, and sure enough, the call was a pickoff back to first base and works terribly for the Thunderbolts.
Babayev now with a chance, 1-1 count facing Doyle. Strike called there again. The off speed and the movement from Doyle has been quite the story here since he has entered from the bullpen. Pitch now. Babayev gets behind it. It bounces foul before it reaches first base. Or was ready to come home, though. There's only 1 out on the board.
Yeah, getting Orr here is crucial, as well as continuing this successful top of the 7th. Babayev has some counterintuitive stuff. He's batting .417 on the season, but has had back-to-back Ks swinging.
That one inside from Doyle. Doyle started off hot, cooled off a little bit here. Obviously had the past pickoff opportunity. Not something he wants to see during this outing. 2-2 now. catches Babayev swinging on an outside pitch and gets the crucial second out, while Gaithersburg has a guy on third base.
Yeah, I think that's the right play from Doyle. I understand the T-Bolts wanting that pickoff at first base, but Doyle's been pitching so well. I think the play for the rest of the game, as long as he stays in, should just be focused on these batters and abuse that off-speed.
And now it's Collin Hughes at DH now for Gaithersburg. He puts one in play. It goes over Doyle's head, gets it to the gap. He looks to potentially go to or scores. And that's what we talked about. It was the man Danny Orr, after that pass past first base pickoff, got himself to third. Gaithersburg wanted to see him get home, and they do there with the good situational hitting from Collin Hughes.
And I believe that is Collin Hughes' third RBI of the game as well. One came on his opening double, second one on a fielder's choice, and that one on a nice base knock.
That one outside from Doyle. He's facing Joey Nicholson. Doyle up to 80 miles an hour there on that pitch. It's been the story of his outing so far, the versatility and the difference from his high end to his low end speed while still having great movement. That one put just over the plate, 82 on that.
Definitely I think the fastest pitch we've seen from Doyle reached 83, but 83 looks a whole lot faster after you're seeing a high 60-mile-per-hour pitch.
We saw 66. You believe that was the season low from what you've seen. I believe the same for me. That pitch on the outside of the zone called ball. 2-1 count here. Joey Nicholson, the right fielder from Gaston College, has Collin Hughes out there on first base. Gaston watches that one. Hughes is going to be able to take second after that pitches into the dirt and bounces off Benier's chest. Gathers it to make sure no more damage is done than just one base by Hughes.
And Doyle at first couldn't get out of the strike zone, struggling to find it here as he faces a 3-1 count now to the right fielder, Joey Nicholson.
What was a 4-run lead is now the tying runner, Joey Nicholson, at the plate. And he watches ball 4 go by, unstraps his batting equipment, and takes first base.
Yeah, with that walk, I hear some action coming in from the T-Bolts bullpen as a mound visit happens as well, and I believe this will be the end of John Doyle's night, which started off with a fantastic 6th inning, has a rough 7th, and that will bring an end to his outing.
And Doyle was effective where he needed to be for the Thunderbolts. I'm not necessarily sure if everything in that inning was his fault. Certainly contributed to it, but some unfortunate mistakes there from Silver Spring-Takom that allowed the Giants to get back into scoring position. And for the T-Bolts, coming out of the bullpen, that is going to be E.J. Youngling out of Maverian, the sophomore. Another tall guy out on the mound, 6'3". Little bit of a slender guy compared, throws his first warm-up outside of the zone, though. While we wait for EJ to warm up, we'll take a break here. Stay listening here on the right, we can get back to ready. And we're back here, top of the 7th inning, 2 outs here. Gaithersburg's got 2 guys on base. Zach White approaches the plate, facing a new pitcher, E.J. Youngling, for the T-Bolts. After that call to the bullpen.
E.J. Youngling will vary in his career there. He has 14 innings pitched, allowed 16 hits, 14 runs. He had 9 Ks, followed with 14 walks.
Zach White readies. 1-0 count. Youngling checks second base. Delivers this one. That's off the bat, and that is going to land in the zone. Collin Hughes is headed home, and it looks like we will get a play at second base. What is the call from the umpire? And they call Zach White safe at second, which will continue this inning for Gaithersburg. Hughes got home. Nicholson got to third. And Zach White able to extend that, perfectly placed right over the first baseman's head. Not quite to the right fielder, Matt Walter. And Gaithersburg back in scoring position. That ball fouled right back directly towards us. Not sure if Brady Powell has some quips with our broadcasting, giving us a warning shot, but here he steps up to the plate, and the tying run is at third. The winning run, per se, is on second. Still plenty of baseball played to be here at Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Yeah, Zach White ruining the start of Youngling's outing, and as you said, it was perfectly placed. I don't think he could have put that in a better spot. As you said, between first baseman and right fielder, also tailed off in the foul territory, which allowed Zach White to reach second base, and he's in a spot here to drive in, as you said, the go-ahead run in this game.
And now Youngling will look to face Brady Powell. 2 outs. White is out on second. Joey Nicholson's taking a big lead there on third. White out on second. Matt Walter made a good throw to Josh Erd there at second base. Just wasn't enough to get the speedy White, showing off some wheels around the bases. And that is a third pitch strike. Looking, ends the inning. Gaithersburg certainly happy with that one. They've gotten it within 1 run. 7-8 is your score as we take a break. And as they are out on the field switching over, so will we. Stay listening, stay watching, stay tuned in here on the Gaithersburg.
Might get there. You ready?
Yep. We're back here, Montgomery Blair High School, home of the Silver Spring-Takom T-Bolts. They've welcomed in our Gaithersburg Giants here tonight, and it's gotten quite the exciting matchup. I'm Collin Smith here on the call with you, alongside Jake Tseronis.
Yeah,
Jake,
Tseronis.
It's Tseronis.
No worries. It's
our first time getting paired
Yes,
together.
of course.
We've each called a game with David, our colleague. We're just getting used to the season here, young, as we're still early into June. And it's still Shriver out there on the mound for Gaithersburg. Finds himself in an early 2-0 count, facing Ryan Quadros. Aiden Driscoll. Second time I've seen the 5 and looked at my 15 on the roster, not the 5. But we have the good view of the strike zone. Not exactly the jersey numbers here under the bleachers.
Yeah, the Terrapin. They walk in his first at bat, grounded out, then reached on error, so still looking for his first official hit.
And now 3-1 for this count. Driscoll facing Shriver. Shriver puts that one low outside, controlled by McNally. Doesn't help though, still a ball. And Driscoll finds himself on first base.
So Shriver, after coming off not an unsuccessful first inning, but an inning where he allowed 3 hits, starts off with a 5-pitch walk.
Nolan Cutney now for the T-Bolts. That one right over the plate. Strike for Shriver. Cutney watched that one right into McNally's glove.
A nice pitch to get Shriver back on track.
This pitch down, swung on by Cutney. No contact made. And that's going to find him down early 0-2 in this count. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Shriver delivers that pitch. Cutney puts it right to his glove. Double play opportunity. They send it to first. It's a passed ball. Cutney is going to. They have a chance to get him out. No tag is made. And while Driscoll was out at second, Cutney reaches there. Nevertheless, after the passed ball, Zach White couldn't maintain it to try to make a double play.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was an off throw from Diaz, and then McNally doing a good job to cover first base. Had an opportunity to get Cutney out at second there. Oliver, his throw was wide as well.
And now up at the plate for the T-Bolts, it's Bryce Curry, the tall third baseman. 6'3" out of Hofstra. Shriver delivers this one, fouled off by Curry. Way deep. His name is Curry. Maybe send that deep over into the basketball gym. Not really sure where it's located here. Fouled it off behind the football field, so could have been in the parking lot. Shriver delivers this one inside, gets behind the bat of Curry. Diaz not enough for it into left field. Babayev finds it. The play is at home. And Cutney reaches it. Driscoll was out at second. Cutney replaced him there on the pass by pitch. And a defensive error by the Giants leads to a run by the T-Bolts.
Yeah, that one right there. Just a nice piece of hitting from Curry, finding the gap between Orr and Diaz. Babayev, the ball got slowed down in the grass for him. Didn't really have a play at the plate.
I did notice certainly a bit of a longer outfield here at Montgomery High School. Slowed down that ball just enough that Babayev couldn't get to it in time. That pitch swung and missed by Ryan Quadros, the real number 15. Would you please stand up? He's at the batter's box now.
Yeah, and that last hit was really unfortunate. In an 0-2 count, Curry able to make the most of it.
0-2 here. That's a third strike. Watching for Ryan Quadros.
Now batting, first baseman number 47, Brady Grimes.
Brady Grimes, first baseman, steps up to the plate. There's now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The man on first is Bryce Curry after that RBI single. And McNally tried to catch Curry lacking out at first base. He'd taken quite a lead. Didn't exactly come back to it, though. McNally keeping him honest.
That was a catcher-to-catcher play right there. Zach White not able to get the tag down in time.
That one delivered inside low. Shriver lost his hat on that pitch. Resets himself, recaps himself. Curry with a bit of a smaller lead now from first after the attempted throwout. Takes a double crow hop. That ball not called strike. Was close to the zone. 3-0 count now for Brady Grimes.
I thought that was a nice off-speed pitch there for Shriver. Thought for sure he caught the zone. Disagrees.
Grimes now. That one over the plate gives the ump no choice but to signal for the strike. 3-1 now. Shriver looking to battle himself back into this at bat. It's Curry on first, Grimes in the box. That one low and outside. Curry takes second. Grimes heads to his defensive position of first base. Manager TJ Brockway is going to step out and have a few words with his guy Dylan Shriver. Doesn't look like a call to the bullpen quite yet.
Yeah, as you say that, we do have someone warming up there, though, but I agree. The bullpen pitcher has not made any moves towards the field. However, Shriver has not had the best of outings so far. So he looks to leave the bottom of the 7th inning, only giving up the 1 run so far.
Gaithersburg certainly hoping to not let this lead get too large. They chipped away at it in their last time at bat. Hoping to get out of this inning. There's currently 2 outs. And give themselves a chance here in the later innings. Right now, they need 9 to tie it, 10 to win, 10 to take the lead, because as we've seen, almost every time Gaithersburg gets their bats going, Silver Spring-Takom seems to come out and respond. Shriver delivers that one. It's foul-tipped after the meeting with his manager, TJ Brockway.
Yeah, as you say that, that's been one of the slogans of the season for the Gaithersburg Giants. Their opponents have basically been saying to them, if you can hit me hard, I can hit you harder.
That pitch over the plate. Shriver finds himself advantageous here in this at-bat. 0-2, 2 outs. There are 2 base runners, 1 on second, 1 on first. It's Quadros and Grimes. Sorry, Curry and Grimes. That ball just a little bit outside of the zone. 0-2. Tried to have Josh Erd guessing a little bit. Erd, good eye to stay off that one.
Shriver and another 0-2 opportunity to end the inning.
And that one is a blown by ball on McNally. He runs into the ump. And that one covered up by McNally. He turned the wrong way, but not without any consequences. Bryce Curry heads to third. Brady Grimes takes second.
And now the 0-2 count with runners on first and second. It's a 2-2 count with runners on second and third.
And Josh Erd certainly fought himself back into this at-bat and now has 2 runners in scoring position. That pitch put into play, caught by Shriver, sends it easy to first base. His guy, Zach White, gets the out And Shriver makes a good defensive play, avoids a potentially dangerous scenario with two guys in scoring position after the blown by pitch. Gaithersburg had their bats hot last time they were out, and they look to continue that here. Stay with us here on the Gaithersburg.
Welcome back to the Gaithersburg Giants broadcast as we enter the top of the 8th here. The Giants down 7-9 against the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts.
Gaithersburg trying to get back into this one. They've been chipping away at leads. The T-Bolts continue to build them up, but certainly with a chance here in this half inning. McNally has a 2-0 count.
McNally hasn't recorded a hit yet this game. He has ground out with a pair of pop-outs.
And just like that, he's on base. Takes one right to the rib. Talked with the for a second, wanted to make sure he was okay after a hard pitch. He's a catcher. He took it just like a champ.
Yeah, it almost looked like Matt McNally didn't even thought it hit him. He looked a little confused talking to the umpire. Once he figures it out, he throws his bat and gladly jogs down to first base.
Shortstop, 27, Freddie Diaz.
Freddie Diaz now. He's got one guy on base after that hit by pitch. No outs. That one high. Right. Was able to find the glove of Vance Bonnier.
Freddie Diaz's last at-bat came back when John Doyle was piping it. Popped out to him.
And he's going to bunt here. He pulls it back. In time called strike, though. Pulled that bunt back, but he was in the right spot from our looks here behind home plate. And McNally's taking second base, and the ball is a little bit high. Josh Erd came in there. Neither him nor Nolan Cutney able to get the out there. McNally finds himself on 2.
Yeah, that was a good throw down there from Bonnier. Ball's a little outside and high, allowed him to get the jump up early. Howard McNally. Speedy McNally, if that gets in there safely.
Young Lane looks back at McNally after one base stolen, delivers this pitch down the middle. Not enough for Diaz, though. Swing and a miss. Diaz winds up his bat. Stared down by Young Lane. Young Lane nods off on his catcher. Finally decides on his pitch. Checks McNally for second base. Starts his windup. Delivers this one far right outside. Good eye by Diaz.
We apologize for the track master. It went offline for a second. We are getting it up right now.
It's a 2-2 count here for Diaz. Youngling taking his time, now decides on it. Puts that one outside. Called strike. Diaz was already 1/8 of the way to first base. He surely thought that was a walk. It was outside on the right side of the plate, but the umpire says go back home.
Unfortunately, that's not the first time we've seen Diaz start walking down to first base when strike 3 is called there.
Now, Diaz, if this was Major League Baseball, I think he probably would have turned back to his manager, TJ Brockway. That one's put into play by Jaden Brown. Fantastic at-bat. McNally stays at third. Good throw in by Struvenant to make sure McNally couldn't get in there. Such a fast at-bat there from Jaden Brown. I was talking a little bit about Diaz. I'd say that he'd call back for his manager, TJ Brockway, in the pros to review that call. Ken, I was at a minor league game down in Florida earlier this year. I think there was about 8 to 10 challenges. I thought it was ridiculous how many times they were calling up to the booth. I bet Diaz wish he had it there, but certainly would add some time to these already long games. And with that, EJ Youngling's exiting the game for the T-Bolts. They make a call to the bullpen.
This one, I believe, is number 51, Nikki Kane. Kane is listed as an outfielder. That's Thunderbolts roster.
This is correct. That's Nikki Kane, right-handed outfielder. I'm not 100% sure if that's actually him, though, as he is on the mound.
And again, this goes into those inning caps for some of these players by the Rifkin League and or their respective colleges. And the Thunderbolts now in a situation where they go.
Now pitching for the Thunderbolts. Eastern Michigan,
Yep.
number 51, Nikki Keene.
That is backed up.
Support the Thunderbolts.
That's backed up by the PA announcer. We listened in to make sure that was Nikki Keene. But as you were saying, Jake, about the inning limits, I guess he's a two-way guy, a little bit of outfield, a little bit of pitching in his Rolodex. Sometimes in the MLB you see those positional players go out there on the mound just to kill time. But this is a close game, so...
Yeah, it's not only a close game, but the Giants got a runner on third base here with the tying run on first. So yeah, definitely another ballsy play from the Thunderbolts here, as we will see if it will work out for them shortly.
Certainly, I imagine Keene can pack the heat enough. Throws that one 78 during his warm-up.
Yeah, definitely up to this point, one of the more crucial moments in the game. I think adding one more run to the Giants' tally would be huge going into the bottom of the 8th, as the Giants will have one more opportunity after this inning to force a bottom of the 9th.
So here, Keene, the utility man for Silver Spring-Takom, facing the do-it-all guy, Danny Orr. Danny Orr, first pitch, swing and a miss, and I don't care what Keene's position is listed at on the roster. That was 88 down the middle.
Yeah, and as you said, Keene was throwing mid-70s to high 70s and then just pumps out that 88-mile-per-hour fastball, follows it up again with the same speed there, kind of throws off Danny Orr as he was extremely late on that first pitch.
Wonder if Keene was trying to hustle Orr, sending some soft pitches out there and warm-ups, then packing the heat once he got him on the plate. That one check swing from Orr. They call to the first base ump. It was high. No swing from Orr. We're going to get a ball here. 2-1 count, 1 out. Nikki Keene on the mound now for the T-Bolts. Danny Orr has a guy on third, ready to score. That pitch too low. Ethan McNally, the catcher, is out in scoring position, eyeing that home plate and trying to put the Giants within 1. And with that pitch, that is the 4th ball. That's a walk from Nikki Keene. That brings up a... Sorry, not Aaron
This is, I believe this
Babayev.
is Brady Ruiz. Weiss didn't start the first game, played in the next few. He is a very speedy outfielder. His first couple at bats where I was able to watch him, he showed bunt first in all of them. Then the Giants coaching staff started giving the green light to hit, and he's been very successful since then.
It's Brady Ruiz-Weiss swings and a miss. He's got a little bit to work with here. 1-1 count.
Weiss is a rising sophomore at Yale University.
Swing and another miss. That's 2 strikes now. Certainly a smart man if he's up in New Haven. Let's see if he can play some smart situational baseball here. He's got the bases loaded. And that ball tipped high foul.
Yeah, you say a smart man. He's
Scoreboard here shows 1 out. Ours has 2. Again, not sure if that's on us or the at-home PA.
As we will see there, the PA was right as Weiss goes down swinging on that one. We apologize for putting one too many outs. Nevertheless, the Yale Bulldog goes down swinging. And now there are 2 outs in this game in the most crucial situation for the Giants up to this point.
Who else would TJ Brockway, manager of the Giants, rather have up than Collin Hughes? I don't think there's anybody on the roster.
Definitely not. As I mentioned, 3 RBIs so far in this game of the Giants, 7. And, I mean, a single in the outfield here pretty much ties up this ball game with speedy Jaden Brown on second base. Crucial moment.
And a swing and a miss from Hughes. Keene getting the better of his pitching now. Certainly got hot. We saw a good at-bat there with Brady Ruiz-Weiss.
So that one reached 89.
Hughes puts that one into play. That's reaching the gap. We have the speedster on third, but he holds up. No movement from Jaden Brown. So now this game is within 1 after the score.
And as you just mentioned, not a better guy to have in that position as Hughes bringing in his 4th RBI of the game with that single. And you know, I said anything to the outfield pretty much scores too. Unfortunately, not the case in that situation. It's well handled by the Thunderbolts as they try to hold on to their 1-run lead now.
Jaden Brown opting for the base running to stay on third rather than pushing it home. Gets his Gaithersburg Giants another opportunity when it looked like it would have been an out had he gone 4. Now Joey Nicholson hoping to repeat Collin Hughes.
Yeah, Nicholson walked in his last at-bat. I believe he's still looking for his first hit of the game. He's batting 125 on the season. Yes, 125 on the season with 16 at-bats and 2 hits.
As he watches strike 2 there. It's a 1-2 count. 2 outs here. He's got bases loaded. Joey Nicholson has a chance to tie up this game and potentially take a lead for Gaithersburg. Pitches away from Keene. There was a little outside. Finds himself now 2-2 facing Nicholson. Keene stares down. Now set for his pitch. Winds up. Puts that one low. Almost into the dirt. Handled well by Vance Benier. And now Nicholson fought himself back into a 3-2 count.
Crucial moment for the Giants and the Thunderbolts here. Could be game deciding.
Nicholson with the full count. Swings up to that one. It's up the infield. It's going to be a play at first. And they got him there. No runs scored. Well-handled ball there from Brady Grimes. Cheers emerge from the T-Bolts dugout. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The T-Bolts are up 9-8 on the Gaithersburg Giants. Stay here. Plenty of action-packed baseball ahead. We have a tight He pitched like 3 innings last time.
You ready?
Yeah. We're back here. It's been an action-packed second half of the game here at Montgomery Blair High School. The Gaithersburg Giants have made a pitching change. It's now number 15. The sidewinder, Aiden Gonzalez, out on the mound.
And, Collin, we were just talking about how reliable Gonzalez's sidearm pitch is for the Giants this season. He has 40 pitch. He's given up 3 hits and only 1 run with 2 strikeouts. And for UMBC, he has 26 innings pitched. He's given up 11 walks, followed by 20 strikeouts. So definitely the guy you need in a close game like this.
And it's Walter back at the top of the rotation here for Silver Spring-Takom. Gonzalez sets 1-1 in his first battle. Puts that one too far right. Ball from the ump. Gonzalez battling with the leadoff man, Matt Walter, the senior out of Cornell. And that one's a swing and a miss. Second strike of the at-bat.
Walter is looking to make his first big impact at the plate. He has a sac fly. The only thing he's done at the plate so far this game.
And that one is fouled deep into right, behind the light post here, somewhere off in the trees. Gonzalez now sets, ready for the sidewind. Walter awaits at the plate, swings at a far outside pitch, and Gonzalez sends him packing.
I can only imagine how many strikeouts Gonzalez has every year that looks exactly like that one. Starts all the way inside, comes all the way out. Walters didn't really have a chance on it, yet chooses to swing.
It's got to be hard to track when it's coming outside arm. I'm a lacrosse guy. I'm a goalie. Watching a sidearm shot in lacrosse is hard enough. I can't even imagine trying to put a baseball bat behind that. Definitely Gonzalez puts that one in the dirt. Luckily, nobody on base.
Yeah, I was just going to say, definitely one of the more challenging things in the sport. Hitting a baseball alone. People say one of the hardest things to do. In sports, throwing a sidearm pitcher makes it that much harder.
Caleb Struvenot up to bat now. Sends that one into the Gaithersburg Giants bullpen. Struvenot, the man we said maxed out all of the accessories on MLB The Show. Teal bat, red arm sleeve, black cleats, high blue socks. Any more? Did he add any since his last at bat, Jake?
I see the batting. I see the extra batting glove in his back pocket, but that was there last time as well.
Good eye from the pitch there. Accessories and knowledge. Gonzalez stares him down now. Struvenot holds on that one. 2-2 now. The battle of Gonzalez versus Struvenot. Can the Sidewinder finish it out here? Puts that one swung on by Struvenot. Shakes his head as he heads back to his team.
Yeah, nice job by McNally there to hold on to that foul tip. So we quickly have 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
Struvenot hoping that foul tip would be enough to fight off his at-bat. The sure-gloved McNally making sure he was packing. First swing missed by Aiden Bonnier. The catcher for the T-Bolts. Gonzalez has him in an 0-1. 2 outs here. Foul ball now. Gonzalez putting himself advantageously ahead in the count. 0-2. 2 outs here in the third batter he's faced.
Gonzalez only about to throw his 11th pitch of his outing so far. Been very effective.
Gonzalez puts that one outside, as we talked about, fouled off by Bonnier. He's certainly fighting to stay alive here. Pitch probably would have been called ball had he not swung on it. Gets the piece regardless.
That was definitely a 2-strike swing there. Can't let anything close go by, especially in a 1-run game like this.
Now, Gonzalez puts that one closer to the plate. Play not made by or Diaz. Bonnier finds himself on first base.
And that ball was only 80 off the bat, 3 miles slower than the pitch, but it was perfectly between Orr and Diaz there as both them go to the ground, not able to come up with the ball there as the first base runner for the T-Bolts reaches this inning.
Really the first solid contact we've seen off of a Gonzalez pitch. We saw a couple foul balls there, but so far the pitcher has been strong in his outing as we see a first pitch swing and a miss from Aiden Driscoll.
Yeah, Gonzalez getting right back on track there with that strike one swinging. The first time we have seen a lefty batter come up against Gonzalez.
See that pitch to the left side of the plate, too far outside.
I believe that's the first pitch we've seen throw towards the righty's batter's box. Interested to see how Gonzalez continues to attack this lefty batter.
And Driscoll puts that one into play. Is Brady Ruiz Weiss under it? Yes, he is. And that ends the inning. An effective half inning from Aiden Gonzalez. We'll see if he remains out on the mound as Gaithersburg continues to fight back into here. They're going to have a chance to tie it up, potentially take the lead, potentially extend that. We're headed to the top of the 9th inning. Will this be the last of it? Or will Gaithersburg live to fight another day, another inning, another at-bat? Stay listening, stay tuned, stay watching.
outfielder.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep. We're back here. It's the 9th inning at Montgomery Blair High School. It's the Cal Ripken Summer Collegiate League. This is the Gaithersburg Giants Network, and your Gaithersburg Giants are visiting the Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts. Down 1 run, headed into the 9th here. And it's still Nick Keene out there for the Thunderbolts. First pitch, check swing from Zach White. Ball called after getting the opinion of the first base ump.
Zach White coming off of a RBI double. I believe it was a single. He reached second on errors made in the field. Nevertheless, he's coming off a nice base knock in his last at-bat.
And Keene able to find the strike zone there, catches White swinging. Keene again catches White swinging. It's a 1-2 count here for the leadoff guy, trying to tie this game up and extend this one for Gaithersburg.
And Nicky Keene there has shown no signs of slowing down, still topping out at 88, 89 miles an hour.
There again, 3 strikes, 3 swings, 3 misses for Zach White at the plate. First out of the 9th inning for Nicky Keene. On our rosters, he's listed as an outfielder. If he's ever out there, I'd move him to the bullpen full time because he's been extremely effective on the bump so far here. Now it's Brady Powell coming to the plate for Gaithersburg. Foul tips the first one.
Okay, Brady Powell started off this game hot with back-to-back singles, then followed it up with 2 strikeouts looking here.
And Powell facing Keene. That one inside almost clips him. Doesn't quite. Ends in the glove of Benier. Now Keene puts that one right down the middle. That had some heat on it. It was 89 miles per hour down the strike zone. Good foul tip from Brady Powell. Fights for life. 1-2 count, 1 out here. Top of the 9th. The Giants need some action. And that one low and inside. 2-2 now. Keene facing Powell.
A rare off-speed pitch from Keene. That one coming in at 82.
Now that one over the plate, fouled off by Powell. Battling for this one.
Yeah, nice 2-strike hitting throughout this entire at-bat.
Now, Keene stares down what is hoping to be his second out for him. Puts that one over the plate, and he gets that second out. It's do or die time for the Gaithersburg Giants, and they bring in a pinch. They bring in a pinch hitter. It's number 46, Magnus Krieger, the sophomore out of the Big East, and Seton Hall. Looking to live up to the Giants' motto that they have on the back of all of their jerseys, #GNQ. The Giants never quit. Certainly looking for Krieger not to quit here. They need a run to score, and they have 2 outs, nobody's on base. Keene still throwing heat. That was 89, outside the zone, however.
Krieger played in last night's game against the Braves. He had 2 singles, one of them bringing in a run.
That one down the middle of the plate, swing and a miss from Krieger.
And Keene's been nothing short of effective in the top of the 9th so far. Lots of swings and misses from the Giants.
Keene showing no sign of slowing down. He's 2 pitches away from ending this game. Now 1. Krieger finds himself down 1-2 in what relies this game.
Thunderbolts dugout stands up before this next pitch.
Keene readies, sends it. It's over the plate. It's a swing and the miss, and Keene finishes out the Giants Krieger heads back to his dugout, and the story of the Gaithersburg Giants continues. One-run losses. They fought back, not enough. Silver Spring-Takom Thunderbolts get it done when it matters most. Top of the 9th inning. That's it today on the broadcast here for the Gaithersburg Giants Network. Continue to tune in all season. We have all of your coverage. Follow us, Gberg Giants, on Instagram. That's it here from Montgomery Blair High School. I'm Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis.